What causes behaviour? Communication intervention. Planned ignoring. Once you've established that there is not a medical reason for the behaviour, the first step is to ignore the inappropriate behaviour. It is important to understand that you are ignoring the behaviour and not the child. Ignoring the behaviour means not giving any attention to it. This includes even looking in the child's direction. Giving attention to the behaviour can cause the behaviour to escalate. Sometimes the behaviour may get worse, as the child will try to get your attention by the only means they know. When you do not respond, they may try a little harder. Once the child is calmed, you can then begin to teach the child to communicate appropriately. Communication tools. There are many ways to teach a child to communicate using a variety of methods and tools. The following are some of the most commonly used and effective methods of teaching communication skills to children with autism. Visual supports, sign language, gesture, and reduced language. Visual supports. Many children with autism are visual learners. Visual supports can help to encourage basic communication interaction. They are constant and predictable and can help children to understand complex language and social rules by breaking the concepts into smaller, more understandable segments of information. Visual supports should ideally be portable, easily accessible, and simple to use. An app on a tablet or a folder with symbols or pictures that the child can carry around are ideal. The visual support should also be durable, so pictures should be laminated and photographs and symbols on a tablet should be backed up. Examples of visual supports. Basic symbols. These allow a child to communicate needs or wants. Example, food, drink, toilet. Choice boards. These include a variety of pictures on a board which give a child a choice. First, then sequences. These help the child to visualize the concept of first we and then we. Key phrase symbols. I want. I see a. Daily schedule. This helps the child to visualize the sequence of the day and allows some control over what they do. Other examples of visual supports include calendar. This helps the child to prepare for any activities outside of the normal routine. Example, Christmas, holidays, or the doctor. Task analysis strip. This breaks more difficult tasks down into smaller steps that the child can visualize and achieve more easily. Social stories. These help to develop help-self skills, explain how to respond in particular social situations, and help with change in routine. Reward chart. These are used to motivate and encourage a child to do well. Sign language. Sign language can be a very effective way to encourage non-verbal children with autism to communicate. Teaching simple signs can help to reduce the pressure and frustration a child feels by not being able to express their needs and wants. Start with basic signs such as yes, no, eat, drink, more, bathroom or toilet, all done or finished. A good sign language program will give you the tools required to take the first steps in effective communication. Gesture. Simple gestures such as pointing and nodding for yes or shaking head for no can encourage the child to communicate their needs in a simple way. The child can learn to gesture by the parent modelling, or in the case of pointing, physically prompting them to do so. Present the child with the item so they can see what you are offering. Ask the child questions that they need to reply to. For example, do you want a drink? If you know the child wants a drink, you can model nodding for them. If you are unsure of what the child wants, give them choices. When they reach for the desired item, shape their finger into a point. Do this each time until they start to point. Reduced language. Reduced language involves changing the way we speak by reducing the amount of information we are providing the child. Vital information is provided whilst unnecessary link words are eliminated. This will help the child to understand what is being said, as they will only have to focus on the key words. For example, open door instead of it's time to open the door, or feet down, instead of take your feet off the table. Key things to remember when using reduced language. Speak to your child at their level of understanding. Emphasize the important words to keep attention. Use objects or pictures where possible to demonstrate what you are speaking about. Show actions and gestures where appropriate. For example, show a happy face to demonstrate happy, or drink from a cup to demonstrate drinking. Always use consistent language. For example, do not use pants one day and trousers the next. Behaviour: crying. John is non-verbal and he has very limited communication skills. He cries a lot. When John cries, his mother offers him a variety of things. John stops crying when he is offered a drink. The next time John wants something, he cries again. He does this because he knows that he will gain access to what he wants by crying. The behaviour, crying, is maintained because John has learned that crying gets him what he wants. The crying will continue until John is taught to communicate his needs effectively. It is important that John learns that crying is not an effective way to get what he wants, but communicating appropriately is. The use of visual cues, basic sign language and gestures can be very successful in teaching a non-verbal child like John how to communicate. Intervention. Ignore the behaviour, the crying. When John is calm, he is offered a choice of items. When he reaches for a drink, his finger is shaped into a point. The process is repeated each time John cries for something. John finally learns that he does not get what he wants by crying, but by pointing to it. Teaching communication. Children like John can be taught to use visual tools, such as basic laminated symbols or symbols on a visual support app to communicate their needs. They can also be taught to gesture or to use sign language. Teach when the child is relaxed. All children learn at different paces, so it is important to teach communication skills at a pace and level that are suitable to the individual child. Set aside a one-to-one learning period of up to 15 minutes at a time to teach communication skills. Initially, a child may need to be physically prompted, but in time, the prompting can be faded out as they become more independent.